Keith Martin, publisher of Sports Car Market Magazine. We're bringing the blog to life this week, Keith, and good morning to you, or afternoon or evening, or wherever you are.
Same to you. You know, it's a beautiful sunny day here.
Oh, yeah.
And when we get a good fall day and you're up in the 60s and it's not raining, this is the best place in the world.
It really is. No humidity, no mosquitoes, I bet, either. I bet y'all don't have any
mosquitoes. No, we send them back.
Send them down here so it'll keep people from moving from there to here or wherever here from there and all that. So your blog this week is, Could You Really Love an Automatic? That's funny.
Don't you think that the pressing question in our era, not the one that means anything like peace or food for people or having jobs, the real question is automatic versus manual.
Right. And of course, a manual transmission has its limitations, obviously. And one of them is if you have a late 60s muscle car and you have a 4-speed automatic, you are desperate for either a 4-speed manual. You're either desperate for a 5th speed in the manual or an automatic transmission because it sounds like it's going to completely disintegrate when you're driving down the road at 60 miles an hour.
So don't you think with those Tremec 5 speeds that they've solved that problem?
I think so. And I'd say no harm, no foul in putting one of those in a muscle car. I mean, it'll save the original one for the purist guy who's going to buy it 20 years from now and want to have the original transmission. That's fine. But I see no harm and no foul in doing that because it's a much more enjoyable experience. And ultimately, isn't that what it's all about?
Well, very well said, Stuart. We had a reader forum a couple months ago, and Bruce Canepa said some good things. He said, it's your car. If you want to put AC in your gull wing because it makes it better for you on the Colorado Grand,
sure.
I mean, as long as there's one left that's perfect originally, why shouldn't you be allowed to make it more pleasant to drive?
Sure. I have a friend who has a dual Gia, and he put air in it. And he said, you know what? I want to enjoy it, and I didn't do any damage to it, and I didn't hurt the value of it, and it can come out if need be. But he said, it's much more pleasurable for me to drive it and enjoy it. And again, that's what it's all about. And automatic transmissions, Shelby Mustangs with an automatic transmission used to be able to not give away, and now they're becoming a little bit more popular. People are like, you know what? I kind of prefer the automatic. I hate to say it out loud because I know I'm a car guy. But I kind of like the automatic.
Well, the other thing is that if you think about it with a manual, you shift for the first 35 to 45 seconds you're driving the car.
Right.
First, second, third, fourth, and then you're done.
Done.
Because at that point you're on the freeway, you're on a 2-lane road, you're doing something, but you're not. The only place that a manual gearbox is essential is in a small motor car.
Right. Like a 289.
A tiny car, like a 4-cylinder.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
MPV or something like that. I had a Volvo 122S that had a 3-speed automatic, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word turd on this.
You can say turd.
Okay. Oh my God. You would put a brick on the accelerator pedal, get out of the car, watch the car go across the intersection, chase that car down, jump back in, and it was so terrible. My V12 Jag's got 270 horsepower. It's got a 3-speed automatic, and it's got more power than God.
And way more fun to drive and enjoyable. And listen, a manual transmission in the right circumstance, you're on a racetrack, then certainly it makes a lot of sense in a lot of respects, although Formula One cars aren't manual transmissions anymore because they're inefficient in time. Because you can't, you can certainly paddle a lot quicker than you can, shifting with a gear shift and a clutch and all that.
I just think it's interesting the stigma that's attached to, well, I can't drive a stick. Oh, you can't drive a stick. Oh, you can't. And I've taught my son, who's 18, said he doesn't care whether it's an automatic or he drives them both.
Right. And certain applications work well for certain things. If you're going down the back country roads, then a manual transmission is a lot of fun. If you get stuck in stop and go traffic, you would kill for an automatic transmission at that juncture.
Well, that's our 75 911S Sportomatic is a very unloved car for a long time. But I will tell you, when you're in rush hour traffic, just leaving the car in gear and putzing with no shifting.
Sure.
is pretty nice.
Well, and then you put that adaptive cruise control on, and you don't even have to slow down or brake or anything. You're just kind of sitting there reading the paper.
I was coming home in traffic last night, and I had this thought, and I almost got hit by a Tesla that was changing lanes. And I thought, I don't know. I'm on one hand, I'm a fan of self-driving cars because the accident rate is less with self-driving cars than with people.
Right.
On the other hand, I don't really know if I want to be on a crowded roadway with a bunch of self-driving cars.
Right. The only advantage I see to self-driving cars is the fact that I think you would eliminate the what the heck traffic jam, that there's no explanation. There's no construction. There's no wreck. There's no nothing. They just, especially I-81 coming out of the south, coming up towards Pennsylvania, it just stops for no reason. And I can't fathom how that happens until you see the guy who's got 22 car links between him and the guy in front of him. And the domino effect just happens.
Or what I love is that you find out, you slow down for half an hour and you find out it's because there's an accident on the other side of the road.
Yeah,
everybody's
baffling. Or a policeman pulling over somebody because, that's, you got to, and, I get slowing down and moving over a lane and all that a little bit, but you don't have to come to a stop.
Sure. You have been tempting me with this TR2 that you have on your website. So it's a 2, right? Or a 2A?
A 2A, yeah. Is it a 2A? Yeah, I think it's a...
I don't think it's a 3 because the 3 has that big grill.
Yeah. No, it's a 2A, I believe it is. Right, Steve? Steve's
going to check it out.
We got too many cars here. We're having a hard time keeping up.
What's a car like that worth, you think?
That one, I think, is probably in driver quality condition. I haven't really looked at this one, but I would say driver quality condition is going to be low 20s.
Yeah.
And something a little nicer, maybe up in the 30 range. I think this one's a TR2, not an A. It's got the 1991cc 4-cylinder, and it's at 31. It's nicely done, apparently, and, probably high 20s would be the real number on that car, I would think.
The market has gotten really tough on those cars.
Yeah. Well, who knows about them?
Big Healeys are half price.
Yeah. And I love big Healeys. I think they are a fun car to drive. And
I drove to the I think it was the 50th anniversary of the Austin Healey at Lake Tahoe, and there were like 8 or 9 of us in big Healeys.
Right.
And you're up at 7 in the morning, and you're all in fourth overdrive, and you're cruising on back roads, and the sound from that 6 is just amazing.
And great looking cars too. They're really, the big Healeys are good looking cars, and especially in the right color combination and with that navy blue seats with the white piping and the silver blue and the white coves. That's a damn good looking car and much more of a car than an MG is any day, although MGs are arguably more popular.
Well, they're cheaper too.
Right. that probably helps some of these guys.
I remember watching a Kurt Tanner restoration when I was in the booth at barret-jackson break $100,000. And for a while, they were all breaking $100,000. Well, they were coming from either him or other well-known Healey restoration shops.
No different than Amos Mintner and the Thunderbirds and the Amphicars when they went over 100 and everybody went, what?
I was in the booth when that car crossed the block, and suddenly every $60,000 Amphicar in the world became 100.
Yeah. And they were all just, even the nicest restored ones are still kind of, they're just funny.
You want to be sure they've got new door seals.
Yeah. We had a buddy who had one, and he said, "You want to take it across the lake? It's only about 3 miles." And we're like, "Yeah, that sounds like fun." And it was 110 degrees, and the thing goes 4 miles an hour. And you're like, this was cool for about the first 30 seconds, and now I'm miserable and want to get out.
Did you know Lyndon Johnson had one?
And used to scare reporters. He'd just go drive into the water, and they were like, "Whoa." Yeah, good old Lyndon. He liked to scare people. I think that was on his resume. He liked to scare people. So I think that the automatic certainly has its place. And I think the stigma that you said, us car guys who grew up in the 60s muscle cars, it's got to be a manual transmission. I think that's going away somewhat. I mean, listen, I grew up loving 70s Pontiac Trans Ams, and a 79 Trans Am 400 4-speed. A pretty cool car, but if you went out and drove it on any amount of regular basis, you probably would say, I wish it had a 5th gear.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question about the 5th gear, because the cars from the 60s were really designed for top speed 65, 70 mile an hour freeways.
Right.
freeways are 80 miles an hour now.
And you cannot avoid getting on a freeway or interstate hardly anywhere anymore. I mean, you almost have to without it taking an extra 3 hours to get home if you want to take the back roads. And so, you've got to be out there. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you're just going to get completely run over, Pac-Man'd by the semi-truck coming up at 80 miles an hour behind you and you're doing 48.
Well, the other thing is there's nothing worse than the buzzy feeling when your car is revving 4,500 RPM to go 65, and you're sitting there. It's like you put yourself in a spin dryer on, and turned it on. With all my Alphas. Most Alphas come with a 4.5 rear end, and I've swapped them all out to a 4.1 rear end, and so that means that 60 miles an hour is 3,000 RPM. Yeah,
a little bit more manageable. Doesn't feel like every bolt in the car is going to come popping off while you're going down the highway.
Yeah, or you're buzzing the car to death. I got a lot of comments on it. Most of them, there's no question that a small displacement car with a good gearbox is engaging.
Sure,
because you have to be busy doing something. And the car responds, you feel good because you know just how to shift that car.
Exactly. And you feel like you're a better driver, and you probably are a better driver. You pay more attention to your circumstances when you're driving a manual transmission versus just putting it in drive and punching the gas and going.
That's right. On the other hand, in today's world, it really, I've got friends who have PDK transmissions, and what they say with those Porsches, that for the first week they have them, they're flipping the paddles up and down and up and down and up and down. And then after the second week, they put it in drive and leave it alone.
And say, don't bother me. I'm thinking about this. I'm on my cell phone, whatever it is. So, well, as always, wonderful show. And thanks for being on again. And we appreciate you getting up in the early dawn hours that you have to come on. But we love talking to you every week. And we'll look forward to talking to you again next week.
It's a great treat for me. And remember, anybody out there who has a 996 Porsche with a Tiptronic, I'm a money buyer.
Thanks again. Keith Martin, publisher of Sports Car Market Magazine. We'll see you next week, and we'll catch you next week on the Classic Auto Mall Show. We'll see you then.
Here's a special offer from Sports Car Market Magazine. Get a 6-month subscription for just $19.95 by going to sportscarmarket.com/test drive and the number 6. That's sportscarmarket.com/test drive 6. If you're a buyer, a seller, or just general classic car enthusiast, publisher Keith Martin says,
we've been around almost 40 years. It's the Wall Street Journal of the collector car world.
Activate your 6-month trial of Sports Car Market Magazine by going to sportscarmarket.com/test drive 6. Offers for a limited time. Be in the know with Sports Car Market.
The Classic Auto Mall Show with their host, Stuart Howden. Available on classicautomall.com, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.